Hey friends, Coach Sean here, and I just want to do a quick video with you guys to talk a little bit about the tubing anchor over here. Okay, so we've got our anchor over here. We've never really talked all that much about it, about how we can utilize it best, and for safety issues, how to make sure that we're using it safely. Okay, so first thing about this anchor here, so it's not an anchor, right? Like those new pieces of equipment that we have where you adjust the little knob on the sides. But this anchor houses our resistance tubing, okay? So this is called resistance tubing, right? And these bands can slide into these notches at different levels. So you see right here, the band, right? It's got a little knob on the end of it. And then you just slide it in right here. And then the important thing here is we want to take this key, right? This locks the band into that slot so that it doesn't slide out and then snap back and potentially hit you in the face. Okay, so this is very important, this key. And I'll show you how this goes in. So you put it in and then you turn it down. And it just goes just like that. And it locks this band in place so it can't slide out. Okay, so that's very important that we know. Now here's the other thing. There's multiple exercises that we can do with the resistance tubing. All right, so the number one exercise that we prescribe is probably going to be the anti-rotation hold or anti-rotation press. Usually we're going to do that out of tall kneeling or half kneeling, right? So tall kneeling is going to be here, where we're just pressing it out in front. And then what we're trying to do is we're trying to set ourselves up behind the anchor so that when we extend our hands are in line with the anchor as best we can. So I might need to move back another hair. And then you can see here, we've got pretty much a 90-degree angle formed with my arms and the resistance tubing, all right? So some other ones that we can do our half kneeling chops and lifts. If I'm gonna do a chop, all you do is you just reach as high as you can and then use that slot, that's it. So I reach as high as I can get up here to number one. You might not be able to get up to number one, that's okay. Just reach as high as you can, set it up. Now we're gonna go inside leg forward, and now I'm gonna chop down and across, right? So that's a chop. And then remember, you can do lifts too. So if we're gonna do a lift, now we're gonna set it up in the bottom slot, lock it in with the key, make sure we're safe. Now, outside leg is forward, and I'm coming down from this side, and then up and across. So that's a diagonal lift. So again, key thing here, make sure we're using the key, right? Lock it in, make sure we're using the key to lock it into the slot. Another thing, put the tubing back where you found it. Don't just leave it there, put it back on the rack. And then lastly, but not least, do not use the disinfectant on anything that's rubber, all right? So resistance tubing, mini bands, super bands, all that rubberized stuff that's elasticized, do not use the disinfectant on that because it will wear down, it will snap, all right? So just a little primer here on how to use the resistance tubing anchor.